I covered this like a month and a half ago. This guy was still supporting Donald Trump's anti-immigrant agenda, even as his wife was detained by ICE with barely any communication. She's been released, finally, and in an exclusive interview, she still believes in Donald Trump's immigration policies. Incredible. What the fuck do we do with these? What do we do? Dude, if I was a husband, as opposed to a loving boyfriend, which is what I am right now, if I was a husband, my fucking wife got detained for no reason for 2 months, and she gets released. Can you like? And she is too. She's also pro fucking this. She's all. Oh, she gets out of there, and she's like, yeah, well, you know, at least it's also happening to other Latin people. Camila Munoz, maybe Munoz, is a Peruvian citizen who was detained after her visa expired while she was applying for permanent residency, and her husband said he supported Trump's deportation policy despite her arrest. Munoz said after her release, I trust in the process that he's doing this to make the country a safer place, safe for me and for the immigrants. This was the big, like the failing with Democrats, which is they didn't realize that Latin people, like every Latin person who is brown, thinks they're the white Latin person who's stepping on the brown people who they hate. Like racial politics in Latin America, especially with the ones who make it up to the United States, like the legal Latin immigrants, they all come up here and they're like, yeah, thank God I finally escaped that country full of people with exactly my skin tone. They suck. And so, of course, they're all going to be like hardline anti-immigration hawks, you know? Argentinians think they're European. Yep. Munoz also told Newsweek about the harrowing experiences she encountered, including meeting mothers separated from their children while in detention, witnessing the poor conditions within the facility, and the overwhelming relief she felt when united with her husband. Despite the hardship, she expressed her trust in the process and her acceptance of the outcome, comma, her fate. What the fuck? The conditions, she said, were challenging to live in. The food was not fresh or nutritious enough, and the overall environment felt inadequate, she said. Why is she talking like this? I cannot imagine how the other women are facing detention with their kids outside waiting for them, Munoz said. It's something that got me scared meeting women who were like 6, 7, or 8 months in detention. I trusted in the process at the beginning, but the first couple of weeks were scary because Trump and the government were changing the rules of immigration every week. I feel so happy because I'm next to my husband, but at the same time, it's a sour feeling. It's a sour taste because now that I was in detention, I met so many other women with different cases. I'm focusing on them. I'm trying to put my attention on those women instead of just victimizing myself. What? What do you... I think what the president is doing is good, but also I leave this facility with deep... Listen, okay? The policy broadly is good, and it must have just been a coincidence that I and everyone I met in there was sympathetic and didn't deserve the treatment they got. Like, I'm sure all the other ICE detention facilities were full of, like, murderers and rapists and stuff, and it was just my facility that was full of nice, innocent women who were separated from their children, etc., etc. I don't even know what to do with this. Not me either, dude. It's out. What the fuck do you do with this, dude? Is it possible they're being made to say this shit? No. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Seriously, it's not. It's just like incredible, overwhelming fucking brain rot, man. They're in a cult. Literally, like, nothing will change their minds. The experience left her unhappy with the pace of immigration court proceedings. She expressed her disappointment about the immigration detention process. I was feeling really frustrated. You're stuck in detention because you have to wait till they decide. Despite all of this, Munoz said she still believes in Trump's immigration policies, even going as far as calling the former president, April 10th, 2025. Okay, this was written by AI, 100%. This was written by AI. That explains why it's written the way it is. I thought there were some weird hard stops in the sentences. Well, I hopefully the quotes are transcribed accurately. Calling Trump super intelligent. He's like one of the most intelligent people in America. We can tell because of all his good business and all the achievements that he has. Oh God, wait, are her quotes AI too? I said earlier, why is she talking like that? I think there's a reason she's talking like that. But she's a real person. Is she? I mean, I assume. I guess. She has a court hearing on April 16th before an immigration judge. She has to be a real person. Find another article and compare the quotes. It's an exclusive Newsweek interview. Let me look. Camila Munoz. Okay, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel also describes her release. So she's a real person, I assume. Okay, this is written like a human wrote it. This is a human writing this, I think. Probably, maybe, who knows. Camila Munoz sketched this picture of herself in an ICE detention center. Okay. Interesting. At 9 a.m. Friday, Munoz attended her bond hearing with an immigration judge via video. The government's attorney told the judge, "This case has been in the news," Munoz said. Bartel had driven through the night from Wisconsin and watched the hearing on video from his car outside the detention center. The judge set a $3,000 bond. To get her out the same day, Bartel had to pay it in person. So he drove another 4 hours round trip to the nearest ICE office in Oakdale, Louisiana. He didn't want her to spend another night locked up. "It's tough hearing about people in for 7 months," Bartel said of other women who were detained with Munoz. "What's the logic? Why not use an ankle monitor? I'm glad I was able to get her out." Incredible. It's crazy hearing what ICE does to these people, said publicly known Trump supporter. Why don't we use a less cruel method that costs less money and would be more sensible? Munoz, who has no criminal record in the U.S. or her home country, still faces an immigration court process related to her visa overstay, separate from the couple's application for a green card, which is under review. She's scheduled to go before an immigration judge in mid-April. "I understand Trump is doing his job as president, and these are the processes," she said, "but the case should move more quickly if people aren't associated with a gang or don't have a criminal record." Oh, yeah, I trust Trump in the process. I just don't get, like, maybe it's a mistake that I don't really understand, but, like, why is it that, like, I, a person in ICE detention, am being subjected to all of these harsh, punitive, inefficient, proceedings that don't really reflect the severity of my crime? I'm sure that for the other people who are being subjected to this, like the fucking hundreds of thousands of people being subjected to this, and the 20 million people who he said he's going to deport, I'm sure to all of them, like, that's all being done proportionately. You know? It's just for me and every woman I met in there just seemed to be, like, weirdly cruel and inefficient. But I support what Trump is doing because of all the other people. And she said now that she's free, she's going to do what she can for those who are still detained, to raise money so they can buy food from the jail commissary or pay for expensive phone calls to their families. That's really nice of you. Can you... Wait, hold on a second. I noticed this article doesn't end with them still supporting Trump. There's no mention of it at all. Hold on. Okay. CBS 58. Her husband, who says he voted for Trump, stands by his decision. But this is about him, not about her. He says, "There's still a lot of time left here. 49 days is only 1/7 of the year. Still a lot of work to be done. Still a lot to do with the economy," said Bartel. "A lot of this immigration is fallout from the last 4 years due to people being able to freely cross the border without having to register anywhere. We have no idea who is in our country. Not everyone came here like my wife did with a visa. Some of them just walked across the border, and we don't know." She let her visa expire. She's here as illegally as they are. The visa allowed her to be here under a set of conditions that she failed to maintain. You're just like them, man. "It would be nice if someone could go somewhere and register and be like, 'Hi, I'm here and I'm going to work.' There are lots of good individuals who just want a better opportunity." It would be nice if someone could go somewhere and register and be like, "Hi, I'm here and I'm going to work." Oh, you mean like asylum seekers? You mean the main legal process by which people entered the country from the southern border that Biden tried to facilitate to some extent and then Trump has declared illegal? These are the people he's saying are criminals. What do you make of this, man? It's like this for all of them, like all of them. It's the same. It's like these people with like races too, because there were tons and tons of people who were like, yeah, black culture is bad and destructive, black gangs, violence, blah blah blah, southern border, whatever. And then they have black and Latin friends, and they're like, okay, yeah, but they're not like that. There are lots of people out there who think that women as an abstract group are like socially destructive, and through hypergamy they do such and such. But then it's like, well, yeah, but like not the women I know. I don't really know that in my life, but like women broadly, Chinese people, something. It's every like abstract, the result of having right-wing propaganda pumped into your brain 24/7. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a cult mindset. It's like every piece of evidence that you see that contradicts the cult narrative is just like a wacky exception you found, When you think that ICE is detaining violent criminals and sending them back, and then you get arrested by ICE and be put in detainment, and everyone you meet in detainment is like a nice, sad mother who's been separated from their child, and you leave feeling empathetic towards those women, but then you're like, well, I sure was lucky I was sent to the one ICE detention facility that was full of, like, grieving mothers, and not all the other ones, which are full of, like, Tren de Aragua militants, you know?